Today, we're going to talk about mission and vision statements. I'm Dacia Coffey, the CEO of the Marketing Blender, and this topic has so much meaning for me. I will tell you a little bit about why, but more importantly, what I've learned about how they relate to the health of your business and even living a life filled with joy and meaning. So, what are we going to cover in today's video? Why am I actually talking about this topic? Well, at the top, I want to talk to you about why do these things matter. These are not concepts floating around in the air. They are actually tools that can create decision-making criteria for you and have a major impact around three key areas of your business: your revenue growth, profitability, and getting the most engagement and productivity out of your people. I'm going to give you some examples, we're going to go into some of the data, and then we're going to really get into the brass tacks. We're going to talk about how do we actually build these? What is the difference between a vision statement and a mission statement? How do these relate to your core values? And how do you figure out the exact words that actually have the power to transform your business and your total organization's health? So what is the difference between a vision statement and a mission statement? All right, because they get lumped together, right? It's in the exact semantics of the word. So vision, what is out there that you see? That is a vision statement. Some of you might have heard of a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. That's a vision statement. It is a rosy, glowing, halo encapsulated future. And here is the challenging part that might not come true. That's why they use the word audacious in some business circles, because it has to be so big that it almost feels like a daydream. And you do need to allow yourself to daydream in order to capture the vision. So for instance, for me, I told you that my calling in this world is to help people use their work to find meaning and to bless the world. Use their work. So when I started thinking about, okay, how would I enable my organization to change the world in the future, that translated into a business world. My vision is a business world that has prosperity, meaning, and connection for all. So do you see there's personal meaning for me, that work should be a part of a fulfilled and joyful life. But then when set in an organizational structure, if we changed the world, if everything went right, that's what it would look like. That's a vision statement. Now on the mission statement, it's much more tactical. It's what can we do today and every day that gets us one step closer to that big, hairy, audacious vision of the future that we have. So from a framework standpoint, you might want to name who are you serving, then what do you provide, and how, this is the important part, how do you go about it in integrity and character every single day? So you want to be specific. It's got to be words, a framework that helps your people, your employees, your team members, your leaders understand the role that they're supposed to play and the kind of representation of your company that they ought to have inside of every single thing they do. How they write an email, how they manage conflict, how they encourage or inspire their team. How do you do what you do every single day? So for instance, part of our mission statement is to create a domino effect of positivity in the business world. And inside of Blender, creating a domino effect has a specific meaning. We want to be the best part of our client's day. So we take great care in making sure that we are always bringing optimism, that we are bringing encouragement, that we are really identifying with and holding our core values close. Because we can do that inside of the busyness of a day. We can bring out our personal excellence and flesh out meaning inside of a noisy or even a bad day, but in a way that still has a belief in the possibility of a business world full of meaning, connection, and prosperity. One is, what can I do today? That's your mission. Vision is, what do I hope happens because of that someday? So I promised that we were going to talk about the 3 key areas of why mission and vision statements matter: your revenue, your profit, your people. The first one is revenue. Why and how does a mission and vision statement relate to revenue? Well, it's all about the communication that you have with your potential market, your audience, the people that you serve every single day. Mission and vision statements show people that you believe in a higher level of core values and in a world, in a space that is better than it is today. And that in all interactions, you are committed towards this big goal in a day-to-day way. Revenue growth is tightly related to a mission and vision statement because it forms the heart of your brand and the position that you hold in the market. Zappos is a perfect example of this. One of the pieces of their mission and vision statement is to create happiness. They have built a brand and there are stories told on end. They even have products and services and workshops now to teach people how to really embody this. And it's actually driven revenue for them on a myriad of different ways. So mission and vision can really directly relate to revenue. Number 2, mission and vision can actually relate to profits. And I'm gonna go on the research side of this. In the Harvard Business Review, they actually published a study about Best Buy, and it showed that by increasing employee engagement just 0.1%, it added $100,000 in operating income to every single store. Profitability is directly related to mission and vision because profitability comes from engaged employees that know how to fulfill that brand promise on the front lines when they're engaging with your customers, and they are motivated to do something good for the company and also good for the customers. So it aligns because they find meaning. Now, again, that directly relates, and now into number 3, your people. We mentioned profitability, but your people are not just there to maximize your profit. Of course, you have to have profit in order to keep the doors open, in order to have a spirit of generosity and to take good care of them and to fulfill the promise that you're making to do your products, to do your services. But for your people, every single day, they have these lives, they have these journeys. And when they come into a place that is devoid of meaning, it can be very, very difficult to bring excellence to every single task, especially the ones where we as business people start drowning in busyness and frustration. Now we know what a mission statement is versus a vision statement. How do we go about building these? Well, let me warn you first. This takes time, okay? Don't expect that you're gonna go through the workbook that we have on this page and just poof, you're gonna figure it out and those are gonna be the exact words that make a huge change. These are gonna get you really far down the path. But it requires some reflection and some willingness, giving yourself permission to really sink into what is the true impact? What's the true meaning that you can achieve with your own individual life and also your organization? These are not come to and just, quick 5-minute or 1-hour scheduled timeframes. So do the work and allow yourself to think on them. So I do want to offer that encouragement that don't get frustrated. Make sure that you make a commitment to these. So I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but visioning is about daydreaming. It really is. Get a pad and a pencil or a pen and allow yourself to write down what would it feel like if the world was different. How do you get frustrated? What examples make you angry? And this is actually one of my favorite tips. Where do you really rail against things where your emotion comes out because you think the world or situation should be different? For me, this was a huge aha moment after doing a lot of digging about what do I wish the world looked like. I had drawn my personal experiences that work was a place that I felt you had to sacrifice a piece of yourself in order to be successful. And so I really had to challenge that assumption. And I thought to myself, I wish it wasn't like that. And just the fact that I had words around that place in my life. I wish work wasn't like that. I wish the world wasn't like this. I wish work was fun or meaningful, not just about hard driving goals and, success and what other people think. That was a clue to me that I was headed. Anytime you use the words I wish. But then on the flip side, the aha moment really came where I started paying attention to what frustrated me, what I wished was different. And the one thing that came back to me over and over and over, I cannot stand the phrase, I don't care. I mean, even my kids know, do not say those words to me. Apathy makes me so insanely angry because it just destroys an individual's ability to exact any sort of influence or to own their own power in the world, and it immediately shuts down connection with other people. So it is harmful to the person that says it, and it's harmful to the person that receives it. And for me, that was this huge milestone, another indicator about what I wanted to actually fight against. And that is really what your vision is. What are you willing to battle in the world? What kind of stamp do you want to make? And what do you wish your legacy would be someday that you made strides towards? And for me, that was mine. So visioning really takes some digging. Think about the pains or the frustrations, the pivot points in your life that you had wished something different, or a longing that you have that you wish things weren't. And challenge yourself. Is that really how the world is? And is it possible to dive into what if it was different? Allow yourself to go to a place of what if. Now, on the mission side, there's a little bit more of a framework, and you can see this in the workbook. Like I said, it's an everyday sort of a thing. So you want to name, who do you serve? You don't serve the entire world, all, 7-8 billion of us. You have to identify what's the place of impact you and your organization actually have. So name those that you specifically are trying to serve. Next, write down, what transformation are you trying to make in their lives, in their businesses? This is not, I sold them a widget or I offered them a service. This is what happened after they engaged with you that made a change. What's the transformation? Every business on the planet is in business because they serve or fulfill a need or a service or desire that someone else has. You have to be in service to other people, no matter what your motivation is. Even if it's a profit motivation, you're in existence because you serve the need or desire of someone else. And so why? They are in pain or they don't have something that they want. How does it feel? How is their life different once they have it? So in your mission statement, you want to name the transformation that you're making for them. And then also, if possible, how do you do it? Now, how can take the form of a lot of different ways. It could be personality. Maybe you have a culture that has a lot of humor, and that might show up in your mission statement. Core values are one of my personal favorites, and I think they're absolutely critical for crafting an important mission statement. So incorporating your core values at Blender, our core values are mastery, truth, growth, and an implicit one, which is fun. And those 4 core values shape how we interact with our folks, our vendors, our clients, our prospects every single day. And so you want who you serve, how you do it, and what transformation was created because of you. Let me clarify. I never said in your mission statement what you provide, what you sell, what you deliver. No. That can belong in your value proposition, that will belong in your sales pages, that will belong in your sales presentations. This does not belong in your mission statement. If your business has a radical change in delivery, and God knows we live in a world of disruption, your mission statement should still be able to stand on its own or be very, very close. So it's not about what you do, it's about how you do it every single day, how you take steps towards that vision, okay? Regarding core values, these are closely aligned with mission and vision statement, and I would actually argue that it is nearly impossible to really write an effective and transformational vision statement or mission statement without clarity around this. That's why you'll see on this page and in our workbook a long list of the values that you hold dear. And go ahead and circle all of those, identify those, and then what you're gonna wanna do, because you're gonna have a lot of circles if you're like most people, you're gonna wanna look for trends along those circles, the words that you have circled. The last thing that I'm gonna tell you about how do you build these, I already mentioned this is not gonna happen overnight, but once you start getting close, what does it sound like when you say them out loud? So start communicating with your team to them. Start talking to your family and friends and your inner circle about them. And you will find that you will start to use a consistent set of words. They're probably very different from the words you wrote, right? We have a tendency to get much more formal when we write things than how we speak. But the words that you use are going to be closer to your emotion, closer to your personality, closer to a place where you can actually make them real. And those are the words that you should listen to, make notes on, and allow yourself to explore. And allow your mission statements and your vision statements to evolve and to follow the natural direction of how you communicate these to the world, to your team, and how you use them to remind you of what your meaning and your potential actually is. So let them evolve and let them be real. Don't worry so much about the formality. Don't worry what they will look like on a plaque. Allow yourself the space to say, if I have to explain these comfortably, what does that sound like? Because that is how transformation happens, is when the words that we choose are actually real and meaningful to us because they're natural. In the vein of get out there and do it. You just watched this long video. Here's a couple additional resources I want to give you. Again, there's a link on this page, and so you'll be able to click on it and find them. A book I absolutely love is called Values Inc., written by a CEO, and how she brings core values to life in a cultural and an execution way. It's really cool because it's even inside of a franchise model. So talk about scalability. Wow, the practical tips are amazing, and she gives a lot of data on how they actually drive top and bottom line success. Another one, if you're watching this video on a personal level, not just a corporate level, maybe you're a founder or startup, you're in the early phases of your business, bravo, by the way, is 48 Days to the Work You Love by Dan Miller. The questions that he asks at the end of every chapter will really take you down that exploratory journey of why you believe what you believe, and who are you, and what is it, and how to make it all make sense. So it is, just warning, in a structure, a context of hunting for a job. But listen, you're hunting for meaning. You're hunting for work that you love. And so this is a great book to do it no matter what role that you play. So I highly encourage you to look into both of those leaders as well as their books. We do have a workbook on this page so that you can actually go through this. You can distribute it. It's a great way to have a couple different meetings with your team and have some framework around how you make progress on that. And then the biggie is be accountable. I would love to hear where you're at on this journey. So whether you're on YouTube or where you're seeing this, if you're on YouTube, add a comment and tell me, what are you struggling with? Or did you document your mission and vision? Or what resources do you have? If you're not watching this on YouTube, find me on Instagram or find me on LinkedIn and tell me, what are you thinking? I'd love to celebrate those when you finally document your mission and vision. Send them to me. I'd love to use them as examples and celebrate with you publicly what, the the flag that you put in the ground about how you're going to change the world and how you're going to get people to help you do that. So please connect with me. I do my best to get back to you personally. This has a lot of meaning for me because it is directly tied to my why statement, my vision for this world. Again, a business world full of connection, meaning, and prosperity for all. So onward and upward. I wish you much luck and success, and I can't wait to hear from you.